If you haven't heard by now, Helldivers 2 is yet another surprise this year from another small studio. 2024 has been so weird so far, with the random success of Helldivers 2, Pal World, and of course all the expected failures of Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, and Skull and Bones. This seems to be the year of small games kicking ass, and honestly, I'm here for it. I'm going to give you guys my full review on what I've played so far of Helldivers 2, another live service game that can either get better or worse in time. If you're new here, help out the channel with a like or subscribe for more videos like this. I focus on gaming reviews, news, previews, just about anything video game related. Appreciate you for stopping by. Now let's just get into things. I want to start off with the story of Helldivers 2 because it's just going to be the first thing you see. For anyone wondering, you don't have to play the first one to play this game. The first game was a top-down style shooter, where this one is more of like a third-person adventure style shooter. It's a big change from the first game. It took about, I think, 9 years for it to happen, but the developers honestly just put their hearts and souls into this, and you could just see it. The story is basically you going through a tutorial, earning your cape, because I mean, what's a space marine without a cape, right? And from there on, you're an expendable helldiver that liberates planets from the enemy terminids and automatons. Terminids are basically the space bugs, and automatons are robot terminators controlled by an AI, ready to just fuck your day up. The game has this corny patriotism. You're going to be hearing this a lot, but it really is like Starship Troopers. There is no campaign mode at all. Instead, you just go to your map and you liberate planets alongside the rest of the world that's playing the game. Each planet has a meter, and that meter is going to show you how liberated it is. Succeed, and we push the enemy back. Fail, and we fall back, losing that planet to the enemies. The missions you drop into are also randomized, but rarely just feel repetitive. You have different difficulty settings to put on. The harder the difficulty, the more cash and more experience. Your objectives are going to be ranging from like finding ore and defending a drill, to killing just an amount of enemies. Sometimes there's a couple bosses that you have to find and destroy, or destroy structures. I found myself usually making it to the objective, inputting some kind of code with the D-pad, which is just really stressful, by the way, while enemies are just coming at you. And then you just hold down the fort while the objective is being completed. You complete the main objectives, and if you have any time, you can also complete some side objectives that are randomly on the map and get more experience and resources. This comes down to the gameplay, which is really where I think the game shines. The game is a third-person style shooter that has this weighty feel to it. It's really easy to get swarmed by the terminids, even though they're a lot easier to fight than the robots. There's also a variety of enemy types between both of those factions, and supposedly they're going to be dropping even more. When you first fight the automaton robots, I mean, they're really terrifying and they will just ruin your day. They're good at shooting you, they could take a lot of damage before dying. Sometimes when you take damage, you break your legs, it slows you down. You find yourself just on the run, retreating, taking cover, dropping whatever airstrikes you can, setting up turrets, dolphin diving to safety. It is just stressful. Moving while shooting is going to be messing up your accuracy, so you have to stay still for at least maybe even the best accuracy, or just click the right stick if you're on controller to aim down sight. Every gun so far has this different feel to it, and it's good in different situations. So some bullets are good at armor piercing, some are better for flesh. I think fire works better on the terminids. You'll find terminids with armor that you have to either shoot right through with anything that goes through armor, or try to find like the exposed flesh and shoot them. On top of that, every mission has limited ammo, so you're going to either have to find it in the map or bring it down from the sky via the ship that you've got that's there for support. That ship is going to be dropping these stratagems, so you're going to be basically inputting codes like an old school GTA cheat code. Then you make sure you're in the clear for whatever guns, airstrikes, turrets, or resupplies. They can land on you. Basically, you're going to be balancing out shooting, clearing out areas with your stratagems, making sure you're okay on ammo because every reload will cost whatever bullets are remaining. So you want to shoot until the end and then reload. And just, fighting for your life. If you prep a stratagem, let's just say in your hand, and something hits you, you'll drop it and probably airstrike yourself. It's really fun, it's challenging, and it's just an awesome way to take on these missions, and you get some really cool, epic, and funny moments, especially when you blow up your teammates with a misplaced orbital strike. On top of that, the maps are also randomly generated in the game, and thanks to the graphics, it really hasn't felt too repetitive, at least for me yet. They do a really good job of immersing you in the world, Every planet has this unique feel, some desert, some tropical, different weather effects. Sometimes the fog in the game is just so bad that you shoot into absolutely nothing and you're just hoping you hit enemies. For a smaller game, the graphics are really, really nice. I was playing this in 4K with a 4080, zero graphical issues on the highest settings. I think if you've got a lesser card, it might struggle a bit, but turn down some things and as long as you meet the specs required, you're fine. Usually, if you're on PC, PlayStation ports are pretty much just trash, but not this one at least. It's not Last of Us remastered performance-wise. And, I'll get into some other issues about it later. Let's just quickly address something most are wondering. Can you play this game by yourself solo? I mean, the answer is just kinda. I'm going to warn you guys, if you want to play this solo, I really wouldn't recommend it. The fun in this game comes from being able to take things down as a team. If you have a group of friends, that's where the gameplay really does shine. I played a lot of missions first solo by myself just to get a feel for things. I was good up until maybe the medium difficulty, but even on medium, it felt like a horror game at times. It's really easy to get overrun, and you get down to the last life trying to just extract and leave. Anything harder than medium, you need 3 more bodies. Thankfully, the game does have matchmaking. A ton of players are playing right now. They'll just randomly join up on you while you're waiting before you start your mission, or you could join up on others that need people. I had pretty much okay experiences with other people. I think there was nothing really that toxic or crazy. I'm not someone that spams the comms and talks, so we were silently just working as a team. Did we kill each other a few times? Yeah, but I mean, that's part of the game and it does happen, even if we're playing with friends. It honestly gave me like old school multiplayer fun vibes before everything was about people trying to crank out content or stream. Think maybe Left 4 Dead or casual Halo 3 multiplayer. I really think it's a good way to make even new online friends if you're into that. The live service nature is something that people are maybe worried about, but I think it really works in this game, especially if you compare it to Suicide Squad and Skull and Bones. We're all collectively bringing democracy to planets, and if we fail the mission, the enemy meter grows. As we liberate the planets, we get deeper and deeper into the solar system. As of me just writing out this review, we were able to push back the Terminids, and we got to the automaton robots who are just pushing our shit in. Most planets had automatons beating us just because they're just a little, I think, overpowered right now. Developers have even more plans for content, like vehicles, mechs, and even just new enemies. The thing with live service games, though, is that they're really hard to review because things change. I mean, think back to Diablo 4. Campaign is great, at least for me. I thought the endgame was alright, but post-game support has been just nothing short of a mess for that game. The only mess that we have in Helldivers right now is that the developers just weren't ready for it to be as successful as it was. And that kind of takes me to a few things that I don't like about the game so far. Getting into the game and just getting it to start is a pain. People are just leaving their PCs and PlayStations on just so that they don't get logged out. Right now, the developers are planning on getting more servers or updating them just to keep up with just how popular this game is. Another negative is that the PC version so far is not as stable as the PlayStation. I mean, as usual. DirectX 12 I think is unusable. I had a friend who was getting crashes every time we landed on a mission until he was able to revert that. There also might be an issue with people that have AMD cards, but I don't have one. I knew someone that did, and it was just, again, nothing but issues. If you're getting this on PC, I think play it safe, make sure you can run it, install it on your hard drive direct, and honestly just run DirectX 11 until more patches come through. I'd also really recommend getting this on PlayStation if you have it, especially for the haptic feedback, which should work in-game on PC if you plug in your controller. I'm a little skeptical of the whole live service thing just because, we've been burned pretty much as gamers by it so much so far. But I think the game, it really might work for it. And I think it's up to the developers to just keep this ball rolling. This takes me back to the controversial store. I want to keep this one short and simple. It's not pay to win, don't worry. You can unlock everything. Also, the premium currency can be earned in missions. The prices aren't crazy inflated to convince you into paying. And I think the highest dollar amount that you could even buy is maybe $20, which is insane compared to Diablo selling $30 portal colors. You don't have to grind for the premium currency. And basically, the store was just so good that I bought the better edition of the game, guys. I bought the more expensive version. I wanted to support the company for just being so player friendly. The game is just $40, and I think it's great in value comparison to most $70 games. To wrap things up, Helldivers 2 is just an unexpected blast. I saw this one during State of Plays, and I thought it would be cool, but I was just really surprised at how good this game was. I love the gameplay, dropping in, bringing democracy to space bugs and robots. I mean, the corniness of your Helldiver just yelling freedom and dropping awesome airstrikes and stratagems. It's just really rewarding also so far, unlocking things, leveling up, getting new guns, unlocking just new ship upgrades. Even the maps so far haven't really felt stale to me. And the whole randomness of it with the objectives and the side mission, it just works. Really, it really works. I'm excited to just see how we all collectively can push back the enemy into newer and newer planets. And I'm really just looking forward to the updates from the devs. Could the PC version be a little more polished? I mean, yeah, and it really is getting better with every update. I really don't even blame the server issues on the devs because we all had just no idea that this game would come out and just capture everybody. Again, it brings back that old school fun multiplayer that we had back on the Xbox 360 days. And I'm really just here for it. I really can't overstate how good this game is. And I mean, for the low price of $40, I think it's simply just a no brainer when it comes to buying it. Definitely grab this game on PS5 or PC and join the rest of us in bringing some good old fashioned liberty to space.